It's Monday in paradise. Kong's car has a drive shaft in it. The CV joint came on today. Got that on the drive shaft installed and torqued. Heat shields on, ready for exhaust tomorrow. So that's good progress there. Also did the power steering lines today, the two in and out of the reservoir, down to the pump, down to the cooler, new O-rings. So that's good. Ready for a little bit of test driving before we put the pan back on, see how the rebuilt transmission feels. Probably put about 40 miles on it once it's done and go from there. Headlights are down as I showed you last week. So he's coming on Friday to pick the car up. I won't be here, so Gary and Mike will take care of that. This thing, hopefully we get started tomorrow. Every day it gets pushed because there's just too much stuff to do. The wrenches came in for bouncy today, so we'll be able to raise the ride height up and tighten the spring perches. Dan's car, did we get the fender liners in? Yes, they got the fender liners in. So we've got to figure out why the keys are intermittent, drive it, splash pans, check for leaks, the usual. Haven't heard back from Mr. Orlando regarding the airbag light. Front control arms, all four torqued at ride height today. They got to use the new race ramps, and those things said it worked really well. Little bit of persuasion with a mallet to get them to kick out, but nothing like before. And the E60's got a fender on it. Look at that. The front left is on, gapped. I don't think there's really torque specs for that, but snug. We need one more body nut on this side or maybe the other side. There's 3 bolts up here, 3 bolts on the top when you open the hood. There's one hidden way back in there. It's the shiny piece right here. And then there's one over here that you get with the door open. Rocker panel, new rocker panel, freshly painted, is on. We're waiting on a little bit more hardware. These torque screws aren't really screws, they're just pushes. You just snap them in there. But there's some spacers that need to go in, and stuff that I ordered today should be in tomorrow or Wednesday. Really, we started in the back today. We put the tail lights on and put the rear bumper cover on, put the parking sensors in, the rear diffuser, cleaned up the exhaust, all fresh hardware. Actually not, some of the, we reused some little 8mm screws, no big deal. They're a little dirty, but whatever. Yeah, I mean, that's done. Rear bumper's done, tail lights are done, kind of the rear end work is done until we get up to the rear struts and springs, which we have all the parts for. It's just going to be a matter of finding the time and not displacing customer cars to replace the rear struts and springs. I also ordered guide links and wishbones. Those are the 4 upper rear control arms. That looks like it's way out of a line. We'll have to have, obviously, an alignment. It's going to be done. That bolt's moved down quite a bit. So new upper Ford control arms and the eccentric hardware and all that. That stuff's coming in starting tomorrow and some of it next week. Right side's got a ways to go still. I went to put the fender on, start that. I mean, the fender's ready. It's painted. And it was on just hand tight, but we took it back off and we found we got a snag. There's supposed to be a bracket here, just like this one, just like that one, and it was obviously sheared in the accident. So the bracket's available. We bought that, 30 bucks, and then it's one weld. So we're gonna have to get a machine shop of some sorts to weld the bracket on. Then we'll be able to get the fender positioned. We have the new M5 vents, new lights, that goes up on top of the fender. So it is coming together. Lots of progress today. I put the driver's side A-pillar on. Passenger side A-pillar is missing. One fastener that I ordered should be in tomorrow or Wednesday. That pretty much finishes the interior. The new glass is in, the new seals are on. We ordered the strips that come down the side, like this piece here. The existing ones had a few scratches and some of the fasteners were damaged, so got new ones of those coming. The top seal went in with the windshield, so that's done. Then we've got the cowl and the wipers to go. Fender fitment is annoying. It took a few hours to get right, and right now I think the hood needs a shim to move up because this gap isn't perfect, though it's not on this either. And I used some digital calipers to measure the panel gaps. As far as I know, this car's never been apart or had any accidents or anything, and they range from like 5mm down to 3 and change. It's not a perfect gap, even though it looks pretty good. So I got this a little bit better. This is all within about 2mm versus within 3mm. And, you know, I think it looks good. Maybe it's not perfect. They're not perfect from the factory, but it's pretty damn good. So that's what's going on there. I'm going to take my car home. I've got leftover steak from dinner in LA or in Orange County on Saturday. So I'm going to eat that, rest a little bit. It is 8:40. Wow, how did that happen? Emails take it out of me. This photo was taken in July 2012. in the garage in Hudson, Ohio, 2,404 miles from here. And I have, did you hear my knees? And I have recreated more or less the same shot 10 years later in San Diego, California, in the garage, put together and clean. Mine's actually not clean, it's getting cleaned up tomorrow. Just chilling out here. It is Tuesday night, wrapping up today, Monday night actually, wrapping up today. Tomorrow is my last day to get shit together before I head out of town for a little bit. So it'll be a car cleanup, a haircut, some packing, stuff like that. I had leftover steak for dinner, mashed potatoes, some garlic bread, and some carrots. That was delicious. I'm about dead. I'm wrapping up today's mail and invoices and stuff. And I don't know, Silverstone compliments Rosa Corsa. We'll keep tonight short. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow on Tuesday. Good night.